guys. The DM watched way too much Critical Role and accidentally gave his bad guy 3 9th level spell slots. Accidentally TPK'd somebody in the party, or TPK'd the entire party. The bear flipped the table. It was a big mess. Session's canceled. Sup? It is me, Matt.
Wait, the bear? Not the barbarian, just the bear. Just a straight up bear. There's a bear at the table. Why is there a bear at the table?
You'll find out. Listen, Vex wanted to bring the bear. It's not. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
Okay.
Anyways, I is the one, Matt. He is the one.
You gonna give me a name or just?
No, I was waiting for you to say it. Damn it! I thought you were gonna come in and be like, "Yeah."
I was waiting for my name. I would have been like, "What's poppin', Jambles?" But no, apparently I don't get a name.
I was gonna let you say your own fucking name.
God damn it! We're off to a great start.
And the one that is not is Josh today, for he is trapped in the horrible, horrible void of Vermont.
Also known as the Warp.
Yeah. I actually don't know how. I don't even know anything about Vermont. It could be good.
I don't either. I'm just choosing to be ignorant and call it the Warp.
Yeah. But yeah. So today's episode's going to be kind of Critical Role-esque theme. Today I've been having another brain wrinkles about, like watching live plays, actual. I don't know. So Josh gets real butthurt about this, Isaiah. Do you call them actual plays or do you call them live plays? I personally don't care.
Fuck.
Hey, thank you. Okay, so it's just Josh doing a Joshism again.
My man's not even here to defend himself. You know how much shit he's gonna give you once he reads this, listens to this back.
He gives me shit when I'm not here.
I mean, true. He does give you shit when you're not here. Fair enough.
But now
I'm gonna have to deal with it.
Oh,
damn.
Fuck. But yeah, actual plays, live plays, watching other people play tabletop games, most likely D&D. But before that, I'm not going to screw this up this time. If you would be so kind as to... Oh no, fuck, I am going to fuck this up.
You were doing so well.
Brain fart. I watched it disappear. Yeah. I literally watched it evaporate out of my head. I'm like, fuck. Don't forget to follow us on your podcast platform of choice. And if you already subscribed, tell a friend. Thanks. I think I messed that up. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna be real. You messed me up because I was gonna make the joke that Josh hates, and now I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Oh shit! He's gonna be so mad.
Absolutely. This is what he gets for not being here today.
Hey, exactly. But on this episode, which probably will come out after fucking New Year's, to date the episode because, well, yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about because a while ago, thinking about live plays. I know I got super burnt out on watching them, and occasionally I'll pick one up to watch an episode here or there of something, but I don't do what I used to do in college and I'll watch the entire season or series, whatever, of Critical Role or another game or whatever. But I know before, I guess, because I do have a couple, starting bullets and stuff, but I don't know. Are you currently watching anything, Isaiah?
No, I'm not watching anything right now.
Yeah. What?
No.
Yeah. No, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, I'm assuming you were gonna say what was the last thing I watched.
Yeah. What was the last thing you watched?
The last thing I watched was Project Mouthwash's Fate Stay Night D&D campaign, and I dropped it after 12 episodes. Okay.
Why'd you drop it? Just curious.
All right, I don't know any of the players' names. At the I just don't. That's not true. I knew them at one point. I just don't remember what they are. I know Logan was DMing, and Logan is probably my favorite part of it. Logan Bloodlaw from Project Mouthwash. If you watch Bleach Abridged or Fate Abridged, or they do a lot of Abridged series. Anyway, Logan's awesome. There was one player who kept cutting everybody off and was doing the like wacky woohoo, I'm gonna do my own thing over in the corner, and it got me so irrationally angry. And it was pretty innocent shit. It was like the player is doing plot relevant shit. So I usually wouldn't get mad, but there was something about it that was like driving me up a wall. I can't I'm sure if I put more thought into it, I could probably extrapolate more, but like I just kept getting mad. And my person, who's probably really nice in real life, shut up. I'm listening to the DM.
I get that.
That being said, the voice actor for Kirito in Sword Art Abridged was one of the characters. And I think the voice actor for Asuna was also, from the Abridged, was also there and consistently had me hysterical. Like, pissing myself with laughter. So they were great, but everybody else was either okay, and then there's one player who I can't remember what they were in, but they just like rage. Like
nice. Yeah. I think I don't know, yeah, I kind of get that too, because there was a live play, actual play, whatever the fuck, that I watched for a long time, and then I kind of dropped out of it because one player was actually being the lawful good paladin.
Oh my god.
And then it got to the point where they were like kind of bullying the other players for a while about like not doing the good thing or not going on adventures and questioning things. And it's like, bro, can you just not?
Yeah, that's
like, what was it? What was the thing I got really mad at? Like they were like, oh, they fought a bunch of undead, and one of the players is like, again, and it's a touchy kind of subject when you're playing a character that doesn't want to go on adventures, because to be fair, you're playing a game where you're going on adventures. Why the fuck are you making a character that doesn't want to go on adventures?
Yeah.
But the character was more so questioning, like they just killed a bunch of zombies or whatever, and the rest of the party is looting, and the one character in question who didn't want to adventure was like, is it right that we're taking their stuff? Like, I know they're monsters now, but like, isn't it kind of messed up that we're just looting these people? And then the paladin guy just started flipping out at him, being like, I'm tired of having these conversations. We're here to fight monsters. We're here to stop these undead, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, relax. Like, he's asking a kind of moral question. Yeah, I get, like, again, you shouldn't be playing a character that doesn't want to go on adventures, but you shouldn't be a dick about it and trying to force people to playing the game your way, you know?
Yeah, well, I think the like, I don't know. I'm sure it would like annoy me in person if I was playing a game and I was like, oh, I'm gonna loot the monster, and then someone was like proselytizing as why we shouldn't loot monsters. Like, but that is a question that would like reasonably come up if that was your occupation, right? Like, we are like, these people had like, them being our enemies notwithstanding, these are like living beings with like thoughts and aspirations that we just snuffed out coldly. Maybe we shouldn't just take their worldly possessions from them, you know? Like,
right.
And I think a character voicing those concerns, I wouldn't even say that's not wanting to go on an adventure. That's just a character being actually lawful good or a neutral good and being like, hey, so it's a little jacked up, isn't it? But yeah, no.
No, that's his character, but normally, like, he doesn't want to fight, doesn't want to be, you know, doesn't like, he's like, oh, I'm forced to be on this adventure. He's like, when I just want to go back to my old job and stuff. That's normally what his shtick is, when the rest of the party are kind of gung-ho about like adventuring and killing monsters and all that shit. This character's always the one kind of being like, I don't know, this is kind of, I don't like this. But the idea of the question, in fact, was like, wasn't a bad question to ask. It wasn't even like he was morally being like, you guys are wrong for doing this. He asked, hey guys, is this wrong? Like, I kind of feel, I don't know how, I'm kind of mixed about this. Is this wrong that we're looting these zombies?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So something I have learned is that there are some groups that I really like, but depending on the characters they're playing, I get really annoyed at.
Yeah.
Like, Critical Role is not free of this. I'm going to state this for the record, was never on the Keyleth hate train, ever.
No,
but if you were to ask me, which character do I like more, Keyleth or Beauregard, I'm giving it Beau and Laudna 15 out of 10, and Keyleth's getting maybe a 6. And a part of that was like, and I'm not going to speak for Marisha Ray, but I believe she said, like, I had a lot of trouble like remembering what all the spells were, which fucking fair enough, fam. Like,
druids, fucking. There's
I'm
so
not
many
even going to
spells.
front you on that. Druids have a shit ton of spells.
They weren't using. They were still using like the physical books and stuff. They didn't switch over the tablets yet. So it's not like you have like all the spells at your fingertips. It's like you have to flip through the pages, and and that got annoying. So like, yeah, that's understandable. Also, she was kind of playing a like, the coming of age character, like someone who's learning to grow and become, a hero, or like a hero.
Yeah, true. And I know she got a lot of shit for this, but when she was like, guys, are we being evil? Like, maybe we should keep our like moral compass in check because we are heroes and we're kind of not acting like it. We're kind of acting like we own the town.
Yeah.
And she got a lot of shit for that. I'm like, no, but that's literally what you need in that situation.
Yeah, you need somebody like that. Otherwise, everyone's just it's gonna be an evil campaign, or because like most of the party seem to be that like chaotic kind of chaotic good to chaotic neutral types in the party. And if you let that leash go of like, oh, I'm just going to do whatever I want, it's going to be a slippery slope into, just robbing everybody and taking money from whoever and using more like brutal and ruthless tactics.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's literally what we like halfway through campaign 1 when anything didn't go their way. They're like, do you know who we are? And people being like, yeah, we don't fucking care anymore. You're not being cool. Like, be cool and then we'll be cool again. Like. Yeah. So yeah. It really depends. It not only does depend on the characters, it, like I said, it really depends on the comp. Because I'll commit blasphemy and say it. In campaign 3, I love Talus and Jaffe. He is my spirit.
The rock guy?
Yeah. I do not like Ashton as a character. I get what he's going for. I get what Talisman is going for, I think. There's never really knowing. He's a bit of an Eldritch Abomination.
Well, it's funny because he playing someone who he has like an 8 or 7 charisma. This is the first time like someone in the party, or in their player group, who is usually very charismatic, even when he's not playing charismatic characters, is trying to be uncharismatic, right? Because he's being a dickhead. Like that's his whole thing. He's like, I'm being a punk. I'm rude. I fucking curse. I don't say the most intelligent shit all the time. But because it's fucking Taliesin, he ends up working it into his favor and still ends up, people love him.
I'm going to keep it a buck with you. It's not even him being a dick. Because I remember when you don't remember what character I think he was talking to Laudna, where he was like, our traumas are not the same. Don't act like we're the same. I had it worse than you did. I was like, that's fantastic writing. That's great. I love that a character is so blind to how the world actually, like, they think the world works their way and that's it. Their experiences are the world. I love that kind of character if it's done well, because having that character's eyes be open to the truth or to broaden their horizons, awesome. Yeah. It was mainly the cursing every 2 seconds, because while I'm not someone who, was everyone was shitting on the new Castlevania because they curse a lot. To me, that's about as much as I curse. And I do curse like a sailor, but there is a hard limit where it's like, if it's every other sentence that's a curse, now you're getting on my nerves, Well,
that's what happened with the first episode of the Harley Quinn show, the DC one. They broke the world record for, I think, the most times the word fuck was used. And it was so much. It was annoying. I actually generally got annoyed. And I'm like, can we just not say fuck for like, I will throw $10. Don't say fuck for a whole episode, please. Like, what are you doing?
That's main. It's that and some other things that I'm not a huge fan of about Ashton.
Do you think the cursing could be the low charisma stat? Like that's how he plays. Like
probably
someone who,
it probably is. It's just it could be also that, or just being a punk in general.
Yeah.
whatever it is, I'm just not vibing with it.
Okay.
But you know, it's his character. Who am I, the fucking some rando on the internet?
Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know. I think I'm still kind of burnt out on live plays because I can't sit down and watch an episode of Critical Role like anymore, like I used to. Like I watched, I think, campaign 1 3 times.
That's crazy.
And then I've kept up with campaign 2 as it went along. And then I think after that, I got burnt out on CR. And then the other live plays I would watch on the side of that, like Unexpectables or, I'll bring him up later, the 17.8. After a while, it's weird. It didn't hit the same, you know? I got so tired of it and I was like, eh.
Well, so I will give you, so for me, I'm not burnt out on Critical Role specifically because I like the cast. I love the shit out of Legend of Vox Machina. This is another thing that's going to sound kind of blasphemous to say. I think I got a little burnt out on Matt's GMing style. And Matt Mercer is a fantastic GM. Is he, this prophet of RPGs, like people say he is? No, he's a human being who's a GM. He's got pros and cons. Every GM has them.
Yeah.
But Matt's style I did burn out on a little bit. And I was like, because I thought I was in the same place. I was like, do I just not like Critical Role anymore? And then I watched, and I know this is Geek and Sundry, or is it Undeadwood? They had it was Matt, Kari, oh god, I can't remember what her name is. She does a bunch of stuff with them now.
Fuck, it's been so long, I don't remember.
She's a god. Hold on, I gotta look it up now because if I say her name wrong, I'm gonna freak out at myself.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Anjali Bhimani.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic roleplay, like RPG player. She's awesome. Everything she's in, I'm like, that's my girl. They did it wasn't Undeadwood. It was run by the guys at Geek and Sundry. It's the same system as Undeadwood, but it's the post-apocalypse game.
Okay.
I think it's called, is it Deadlands Reloaded? It's the one where you play as yourself. You literally insert yourself into the game and you use your upbringing. This was something really dumb. If you're an artist in that setting, you have a -10 to your athletics. And I had to laugh because you, me, and Josh, despite being artists, are quite physically fit, you know? I've recently stopped going to the gym, but I was going to the gym for 3 years. Josh has been going to the gym for 10 plus years. You work warehouse that are the hardest worker there.
I was about to say, I have what is the body, not body weight, the powerlifter body.
Yeah, you got powerlifter body.
I am a square human being, very broad-shouldered, short stack.
Yeah, and I saw that role and I was like, Dungeon Master, I refuse to take this. I'm sorry, I just won't do it. I am not. No, hell no. I'm doing the Tracy Morgan. No, hell no, no. Yeah, Undeadwood was great. That the Undead one that they did was that one was cool because when people died in game, they actually left the table. They were gone, and then another player would come in.
Oh, what the fuck? That's weird.
Yeah. So when people died,
you got kicked from the group. That's fucked. Fucked.
And someone died session 2. The whole point was this character's they're trying to set up a railroad system after the post-apocalypse. Yeah. And the dude whose dad is running the railroad, he gets bit and killed. Oh. And he just left the table. And I was like, oh
shit.
What the fuck? I didn't know that was a thing.
See, that's something you can only do in a show or a live play like that.
Absolutely.
You can't do that in a real fucking table. That's rude as fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god. Shit, actually, fuck. Before we keep going down this rabbit hole, I do kind of want to get into some of the talking points I got. I guess well, actually, because I'm trying to remember from your backstory, was CR your first live play that you watched? Let's actual play, fucking stream. Yeah.
Yes.
Where did you jump in? Where were you?
Start of campaign 1, or I believe they were on episode 50 or so of campaign 1.
So that was middle of the Briarwoods, after the Briarwoods. I'm trying to remember.
Around there, yeah. And I had started episode 1
end.
and I was caught up. And then I would watch weekly, but I wouldn't watch when they were streaming. I'd watch it like the Monday or Thursday afterward.
Yeah.
And that's what I did up until it was like the last 4 episodes. I'd watched them all, and then finals had come up for us.
Yeah.
And then I stopped watching them for like 6 months, and then campaign 2 started, and I started watching that, and I was like, I really should go back and finish campaign 1. And then I got to Molly died on episode 20. I stopped watching there for campaign 2. I was like, no, my favorite character can't be dead. God damn it.
You know, there's a good video of people. I'm gonna recommend a bunch of videos this episode, by the way. There's a video, I forgot his name is Zipper Disney, I think his name is a D&D Shorts guy. He made a fantastic video of why Talus, why Molly also spoilers for campaign 2. Lol. Spoilers for Critical Role probably throughout this whole episode. Why Molly Mock's death needed to happen for the show. Like, it needed to happen for that campaign. Because one of the things he brings up, and he even has like numbers, that Critical Role was slowly losing viewership, and it was starting to get stale and starting to get boring, and the characters, I know you and I go back and forth. I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan of the Mighty Nine in the beginning because I was like, everyone's all edgy and they're fucking don't talk about my backstory, but I want to talk about your backstory. They were all so disconnected, and they're like reluctant adventuring party. And when Molly Mock died, they got their shit together and they were like, oh shit, one of the guys we've been basically bonding over with is gone. And our other 3 friends have been kidnapped. Oh shit, they're actually our friends now. Okay, fuck, we need to get our shit together. Let's go save them. And then from there, viewership picked back up, and the cast, the characters became friendlier with each other, and we're not being super shady Cagey to each other. Yeah. It kind of needed to happen, which is probably why also, because a lot of people bring the same shit up, spoilers, campaign 3. What was Travis's, the old man? Fuck, what was his name?
Bertrand.
Same thing. When Bertrand, they killed him off in the first few episodes. It needed to happen to get the group solidified. Although their characters in campaign 3 weren't they were more wacky, let's throw shit at the wall and let's see what we make.
Yeah, so they really, for me, campaign 3 felt like, okay, we've done the chuckle shits around the table fantasy. We've done the, pseudo grimdark fantasy, and now we have our these are, what is it? It's your first player. I'm the half demon paladin of this devil, and then 20th character, I'm a banana sandwich. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it feels like. And I probably, despite the fact that I most likely like the 3rd campaign party the least, it's not like I dislike them. You know what I mean? I like all 3 parties. I still think Vox Machina are still my favorite. Mighty Nine are pretty close second. And then Bell's Hells are kind of bringing up the caboose. But it's again, they're all pretty close. By the way, the game was called We're Alive Frontier. That's the undead game they're playing. We're
Alive Frontier? Okay.
Yeah, Ivan Van Norman, that's his name. Yeah, that guy. He's awesome. If no one's watched this and you're looking for a quick actual play to watch, the Geek and Sundry Dread was so good. I loved that. It was a little melodramatic at times, but that was kind of the name of the game, because it was done like a stage play. So it's you expect the melodrama, or you should at least. And that Dread is a really cool system, and they had that was insane because they had actual sets and props and puzzles that the players had to do, not their characters. There's a whole thing where Matt Mercer is being chased by zombies, and they gave him a straight up bow and arrow, and put up targets, and we're like, all right, Matt, because it's Dread, right? It's the Jenga game.
Mhm.
It's like you have to pull 5 blocks from the tower, guaranteed death basically, because that tower was looking very shaky. But they were like, with every hit you make, you can take a block out of the tower. You can take 1 less block out of the tower. And I think he got 2. And to be fair, his form was a little off. I want to say it. His form was not. Robin Hood would not be proud of him. But my man really tried. And his character does. Spoiler. I'm gonna give it a second.
I'm just gonna when we talk to Josh, we're just gonna put big fucking spoilers over the Critical Role logo or some shit.
Yeah,
for the thumbnail of this video. Okay.
But yeah, all right. Spoiler in effect. Matt's character dies horribly. He gets ripped apart by zombies. And it's really sad because you could see he's like out of character. He's like, shit, I really don't want to die right now. And that's that last shot misses. And the worst part is he only needed to get 1 more arrow because he pulled the first 2, and I was like, ooh baby. That tower's not going to survive another one. And it was that last one he pulled that killed him. And I was like,
fuck.
Matt, I don't want to tell you that this is a skill issue.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, maybe you should have picked up archery in the Herculean chance that you would have to use archery on stage in a stage play to keep your character alive in a TTRPG. I'm just saying, maybe you should have picked up archery.
So I'm looking it up now. Actually, just to go back, episode 50 is actually in the Chroma Conclave arc. It's like right in the middle of it too.
Really?
Yeah, Briarwood. So I have a whole thing here for like the campaign 1. So like Craghammer and Vasselheim were only the first 23 episodes. The Briarwoods were 24 to 38. That's what, only 14 episodes? Wow.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember too, like being like, I don't think the Briarwood's that long. And then I think it was, I don't know if it was Josh or one of my other friends I was talking about that. They're like, no, I think like the Briarwoods were like half the Chroma Conclave arc. I'm like, I don't think so. I think the Chroma Conclave was pretty fucking long. And yeah, I'm right. The fucking Chroma Conclave's like 41 fucking episodes, 42.
I'm sorry. And I was right.
Yeah, fucking bro.
I like that you don't even know who you're calling out. You're just calling somebody
I'm just calling out somebody.
Somebody's gonna watch this who's gonna remember and get really salty.
Good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, fuck. But so I've mentioned multiple times on this fucking episode. Actually, I found the episode where I went back to, but like my first live actual D&D play was an Act Inc. episode where then when I first found them, they were doing these live shows at PAX. Before that, they started off as a podcast, then they kind of eventually got like, up into a crowd and then became bigger and bigger. And now they're like a main event at PAX whenever they have the 4 PAX shows, or PAX Unplugged, West, East, and North, I think. I don't remember. Mm-hmm. But the one I watched specifically, the very first one I watched was when Princes of the Apocalypse came out. And it was an episode where, so like they just got back to their, and the whole joke of Act Inc. is that they're, a business. They're like doing The Office, but in D&D. They're like, all right, guys, we're done with adventuring. What do now? And the fire cult from the adventure is knocking on the door being like, hey, so we're going to buy out your company. Also, we're going to kill you all and burn to the ground. And they're like, oh no, we have to fortify our defenses. And the Chris Perkins, what he did was he had like a bunch of these, these square cue cards. And he had like 4x4 rows. Each one was a room. So the players, and he said each room can magically be like moved and rotated. So like you could do whatever you want and like have, each room was different things. So like there was an entrance room, a gym, a fucking bathhouse, an artificer factory. Like each room was its own separate thing. And the players were like, oh God, we got to send them to like the war bunker room or something. Like, just to like fuck with the cultists so they don't destroy our home. And it led to this big fight where the rogue, basically his whole deal was like, I specialize in fighting with chandeliers, you know, swinging from chandelier to chandelier. So naturally they would have a chandelier room. And then they killed all the cultists, dropping chandeliers on them.
Nice.
And that was like my first like watching D&D and being like, oh, this is neat. But man, that is a weird fucking experience. They introduced like they have a mechanical beholder vehicle. They had Mints there, Mints and Boo just randomly showed up as NPCs to help them out. It was, you know, D&D, so they can do that.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it was it was really, and that, when was that? I'm trying to find the date. I think that was 2015. Holy shit.
All right. Yeah, so actually,
yeah,
I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
So Critical Role was the first TTRPG I watched.
Yeah.
However, my first introduction to TTRPGs was Harmon Quest.
Oh shit, yeah. Harmon Quest is fucking great.
See, this is no offense to anybody at Harmon Quest. But when I was getting ads for it on YouTube, I thought it looked like, I was like, oh, this is interesting, but I hate this animation. It's like fugly. I hated the way it looked, and that would like, it made it really hard to find any of the bits funny because I was like, God, I just don't want to look at this.
Damn. I actually kind of liked it because it was Rick and Morty, but fantasy.
Yeah, so maybe, okay. I cannot stand Rick and Morty, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that actually may have been it. Actually, I may have just had an epiphany. I think I was like, this looks like Rick and Morty, and I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's fucking Dan Harmon, so.
Yeah. So, but I was like, nope, fuck this, not doing it.
But it's such a good idea, though. Like having like you're playing D&D, you're playing some role, which I think actually they were using 4th edition or 3rd edition. I don't remember. The DM has his own weird system, from what I remember. If you watch the, I forgot, there's the documentary on Dan Harmon and they introduce his friends. I think Spencer's the DM. I could be wrong. Fuck it, it's been so long. But they literally like, because Dan Harmon would do like a live podcast. So it'd basically be like half comedy routine, half podcast. And one night he ran and was just like, hey, listen, me and my buddy, we just want to play, I don't know, we want to play D&D or some shit. And we think it'd be fun, like, for 1 hour of our show, or 30 minutes or whatever, of our podcast comedy live show that we play D&D. Does anyone in the fucking audience know how to play D&D? And that's when the guy raises Spencer. He raised his hand. He's like, yeah, I've been playing D&D forever. And then became a part of their show. And I don't know if he does his podcast anymore, to be honest. But there's a bunch of old episodes too of Harmontown where they play D&D, and it's his like weird barbarian sorcerer where he's like, my dad wanted me to be a barbarian, but I wanted to learn magic, and so I have this inner rage inside me to cast spells. And it's just like, what the okay. It's like,
no, so I think you're right. I liked the idea, like the idea of someone playing an RPG and then having animated bits to like go with it. I think is genius.
I think the live audience thing is much. I always am kind of, again, I love acting. They do it in front of a live audience, but they're not like having it cut to like animations and the live audience and the game. I mean, they have like a little intro animation when they do their shows, but it's just an intro. Like, it's not even like going with the show.
I think, actually, so I mean, I wouldn't even need to be fully animated. I like the popularity of the Critical Role like animatics kind of speak for themselves. That's all I really need.
Yeah.
Like the Keyfish animatic is legendary, where it's Matt Mercer where as the DM he's just an eyeball in the sky. Dude. To this day, if I'm having a bad day, I'll watch that and be like, I don't want to roll this down. But he's like,
we're guys. And he's like, no.
Yeah. Travis be like, why would you even tempt that shit? Matt being like, I don't want to roll this many dice, and he brings out his phone. I have done that actually to a character where I've done so much, like, I was like, this is such a dumb number, very recently actually. Like, this is such a, I'm just gonna roll this on my phone. I'm not bringing dice out for this.
Yeah, it's funny because Roll20 just does it for me, so I don't even have to like be like, yeah, what's that? 1,000 d8s. Shee. All right, Roll20. It just does it for you.
Dude, I actually, this is unrelated. I was an hour into my session Thursday, and Roll20 wholesale shat the bed.
Oh.
Full for, and we literally, which like, no one could open up character sheets. The rolls weren't working, and I was like, I can't believe this. It's now. It's happening now. Like, what the fuck? We were just like, fuck it. We played Lethal Company for the rest of the night. I had a lot of fun playing Lethal Company, but I was so pissed off. I was like, you've got me.
That's happened to me multiple times. I mean, I feel lucky because apparently a lot of the Roll20 servers are in New York. So if there's ever a technical issue, like the servers come back online immediately for me, like within like a few hours. But I've had that where, yeah, Roll20 is experiencing a DDoS attack or something, and just can't log in. And it's like, all right, well, I guess my fucking game session's canceled today. Thanks, I hate it.
So here's the crazy thing: 4 out of my 6 players are in New York.
Oh shit! And
one of them's in North Carolina. Siffy's in North Carolina, and Moon's in Canada.
Yeah, but wait, I was playing D&D Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, fuck, weird.
When were you playing?
Like 7 o'clock at night to 10, 11.
Yeah, I got no clue then. I remember it was trending on Twitter.
Well, I remember them having, actually, I mentioned the DDoS thing. They had a big red label thing when I first opened up Roll20 on Thursday, being like, we're experiencing a DDoS attack. And I'm like, oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, hope I can play D&D today. It just kept fucking going about my business.
It's fine. Yeah, you know, my economic security is on the line, but you know, I really want to play D&D. Yeah. Appreciate you, Matt.
Oh. Yeah. I guess I just keep going through, like, I don't know. So why did you start watching the live actual plays? Was it like me? To be honest, it was fucking, it was the Matt Colville video talking about the end of campaign 3 or 1 that got me into actually, like, because like I would watch Act Inc. because it came around like maybe once or like 3 times a year, but that was it. It was just like a, you know, once every few months event, but like it's not like a show. You can't like now. I mean, now they have so many fucking episodes. You can go back and watch it. But back, you know, was it 2016, 17? Whenever Critical Role fucking was end. When did campaign 1 actually end? Fuck.
2019.
I should have. Was it 19?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like back in 2019. Like, you know, it's not like Act Inc. was a big show, big enough show that like you can go back and binge watch a whole bunch of episodes back to back. It's like eventually you would run out of shit to watch. Whereas Critical Role, it's such a big fucking backlog, literally hundreds of hours, and it's like, oh well, people are saying it's entertaining, so I might as well watch it. And as a fledgling like starting DM at the time, I was like, maybe I can like learn a thing or two.
Mm-hmm.
But what was your what was your reasoning for like jumping in on the CR bandwagon?
Mainly, it's yeah. So, we've talked about LP Ant before on podcast. I've known him since high school. He was watching it and he was like, "Oh," I remember he was like, "Oh, that's." I was like, "Oh, that's Liam O'Brien." And he's like, "Yeah. These are all like super famous voice actors. Like that's Laura Bailey." And I was like, "Oh shit." And there's a lot of people I had known by name, but not by face. You know, because I was gonna say I don't necessarily want to be a voice actor, but I've looked into voice acting. I'm interested by the profession and I wouldn't mind doing it. So I've always been like super keen on finding out who's doing what. I don't like, most people are like, you ask someone who's Goku's voice actor? And like, I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, that bugs me. So, yeah. So I could finally put a face to all these names I knew.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is kind of neat. And then 2 other people who we went to school with, who I will not name currently because I don't have a fake name
Jim
for them.
And Billy.
No. People in our class, though.
Yeah.
Who were also watching Critical Role. And I honestly was probably the reason they stopped because I was really cringy and I wouldn't shut up about it, which, fair enough. But yeah, they were talking about like, okay, so I'm like, this thing must be pretty cool if several people I know have brought it up to me randomly. And we made our character sheets that year and we started playing in June was when my first campaign started of that year. So June of 2019 or 20. No, wait. Oh no, hold on. Campaign 1, I think ended in 2017.
Yeah, that's what I thought when you said 19. I was like, yeah, because 19 was when fucking Endgame came out. Yeah, no.
Oh, you know what it is? I'm looking at the Geek and Sundry thing. I guess 2019 is when they stopped being hosted on Geek and Sundry.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. It was 17. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I started my first campaign the June of 2017. My second campaign started in July of 2017, and then went on from there.
Nice. Went wrong from there.
I didn't say went wrong. I just then went on from there.
Oh, went on. I'm sorry. I thought you said it went wrong from there. I was like, oh.
Look.
If you guys want, you go back to watch the episode 1.
Yeah. Our tragic backstories. It didn't go wrong. I think honestly, that first campaign taught me a lot about how I should act as a player. Yeah. And as a DM, because I remember I very specifically remember pulling the like, why aren't you like Matt Mercer card? Because nothing else. I didn't know anything else at the time. And I would have been pissed at myself. Like, I would have smacked the shit out of myself a few years ago. I'd be like, bro, shut the fuck up. He's trying his best.
Because that is now a big cardinal sin. A lot of people like a lot of players still fucking do it. But like, there's a lot of people you can look up on Reddit. Like a lot of people try and slap down the people who are like, my DM isn't like Matt Mercer. What do I do? And it's like, how about you shut the fuck up? How about you deal with it? How about you deal with your DM doing his best?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, I definitely would have words with myself back in the day.
That's actually one thing I did want to bring up too with the watching live plays, because like I think a lot of people, both from a DM side and from a player side, I guess depending on like what type of stream you're watching, you can learn like from a player side. You can learn a lot of good shit, like how to be like, social etiquettes. Like, we're playing a tabletop game, a lot of gremlins, we fucking all like, we socially awkward at times, but there are times when we have to learn to be better and to learn to talk to people and eye contact and fucking putting on deodorant, all that shit. I'm looking at you, Magic the Gathering players, but
damn,
called them out.
Got him.
But like, also like teamwork and like, again, not to be a weirdo. Like, I think like a lot of like live plays, especially if you want to look at Critical Role, like they are a good friend group. And you can kind of learn like, this is how friends act. Like if you're like one of these people who are like always online, you never fucking, you don't have a friend. You want to join a D&D group because you want to make friends. And it's like, there you go. You can like start building the blocks.
Yeah, I mean, I will say for sure, if you are not vibing with somebody in a game, you will know why.
Yeah, your gut will tell you, and you either have to have that group talk or there's a million groups. Like you'll be able to find a new one.
It's funny. I have a friend. I'm working on some stuff with named Lucy, and he was like, I use D&D as a good litmus test to see if I can get along with somebody professionally, which I was like, oh, that is actually a quite interesting way. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Because like, funny enough, to be a DM, it's almost like being a manager. You have to time and schedule things. You have to coordinate all these people who have all these different jobs and all of these different wants and likes, and you have to coordinate them to do one thing for a few hours once a week. It's fucking annoying.
You know what's funny? That first campaign taught me a lot about who I was as a player. Because we've talked about it. I am like an Omega level proactive player. Yeah. Like I will wait patiently. If there's a lull, I will wait very patiently. I'd be like, does anybody want to do anything? And if I get no response, I'm like, all right, cool. So I want this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Yep. And like, I'll finish those things and be like, okay, does anyone want to do anything?
Yeah.
No? All right, bet. So I want to do this.
That's I'm kind of like that too, where like I'll try and do the thing where I'm like, I feel like the spot in the group. I'm like, all right, what are we missing? We're missing a healer. And then if it's like one of those moments where there's like, all right, guys, you have some time, in the town. What do you want to do? I'll wait. No one says anything. And then, I'm immediately the first person to be like, all right, so there's that barkeep down the road. I want to go fucking, I want to pickpocket him. Or like, I'll have like 3 or 4 different things I want to do. And it's like, I feel bad because there are times where back when the Storm King's Thunder, when I was a Lizard Wizard, I realized I was talking way too much in the game. And I was accidentally being a spotlight hog for a while. And after like a few weeks of realizing I actually had to pull back, and then I made the guy more of a supporting character than like, being that dude to like upstage everybody. Because I felt like an asshole afterwards immediately.
Yeah, that's actually very funny that you said that, because I for the longest time I was super worried about that. About like hogging spotlight from people.
Yeah.
Which is that's why I had to start being like, does anybody want to do anything? I'm asking now.
Yeah, no. Asking is always very helpful, especially in that situation.
Because I definitely know there are some games where I would just I would talk for like an hour. And I'd be like, oh, I feel like a piece of shit now.
Yeah. Or I would always try and include like other members of the group as the Lizard Wizard, being like, hey, this guy, hey, Warlock, hey, Barbarian. Trying to get other people involved with whatever I was doing, so that way I wasn't doing the hogging again. And it worked out great. Like, there was a joke because I think because I had invisibility, me and the Ranger were the stealth team. And it's like, aren't you like, what's your dexterity? I'm like, I don't know, like a 10. And they're like, a 10? How's he on the stealth team? And I'm like, can you turn invisible? I think not. And then I like cast invisibility and trip on a rock or some shit.
I will say, so actually, I'm curious, Matt. What was this is kind of a topic switch. I'm not trying to ignore you. What is your favorite actual play that you watched?
Oh God. I think I'm just gonna go back to just Act Inc. Because like going back through Critical Role, like Campaign 1, I love Campaign 1, but there are moments in it where I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, let's move along. Like if there was a what was the Dragon Ball Z, a Kai version of fucking.
Yeah, I mean you have that. It's called Legend of Vox Machina. Of Vox Machina.
True. Yeah. But I want the Crag Hammer. I kind of want the whole thing. I wanted like, I know a lot of people shit on Crag Hammer, but I liked it. I thought it was cool. It was a good introduction to the characters. They fought a beholder. Like, I
don't know. I think one of the big reasons why people shat on Crag Hammer was it was like their first time streaming the game. Everybody was a little self-conscious.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone brings up Orion as like this.
Yeah.
Who will not be named, but I don't particularly give a fuck.
Yeah. No, I get that. I know I told you one of my buddies. Because I was trying to get him into watching Critical Role. He's like, and he saw like one of the I think it was like one of the first few episodes of Campaign 2, and he's like, nah, man. He's like, I don't like. He's like, this is like way too high production. They're doing all these fucking ad reads and shit. He's like, they take way too much time. I'm like, all right. Start in the beginning then. Go all the way to Campaign 1. Campaign 1 is like, there's so much content there for you to watch. And I was like, this is the campaign that I got hooked in. And then he's like, I couldn't finish the first episode, man. Production quality was so shit. Fucking no one understand what they're eating. Like, they're fucking eating while they're playing. I'm like, you told me you were complaining about how high quality the production value was for campaign 2. Now you're saying the production value is too terrible. Is this one
of your players?
No, actually.
Okay, good.
I was like, come on, man.
What a fucking goober. Look, I ain't gonna hold you, bud. Episode 1's production quality is dog shit.
It's bad, yeah.
But it gets significantly better by like episode 5.
Not even that far. Not even that far.
I will agree that I think for me, Critical Role has hit a little too high production. The thing I really liked was the theme park stage or whatever the hell. That $1 million fucking stage they got. The thing that I really liked was the friends around a table vibe.
Yeah.
And it's not that anymore. And that's not a problem. You know, the game has changed.
Right.
Start Tron Legacy soundtrack. I get it. I completely understand why it is the way it is now. Mm-hmm. It's just not for me anymore. Like I'm which is not to say that I don't watch it ever. Like I'm on episode 40 of campaign 3. I haven't watched it in like 6 or so months, but like I was watching it for a while. It just
you were following along with it, or like
no. Like I would let it get like 5 episodes ahead, and then I'd batch watch them while I'm at work.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, look, it is a little too high production for me, and that's fine. I think that's all right. This is a completely different rant. It's okay to just not like a thing
after a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I have seen some shit online. Genuine takes I've seen being like, yeah, you know, I'm just not a huge fan of Critical anymore. Like this, that, the other. And there's immediately jumping down people's throats, bringing up all number of things.
Yeah, a bunch of negative shit. Yeah.
And it's like, or you just sort of fell off of the thing. It's okay.
It happens.
Like there's a bunch of shit.
With any hobby you get into or any show you watch, eventually you might be a diehard fan. You'll fall, ride die with it. But not everybody's like that. Some people just fall off.
Yeah.
Like you have people who leave TV shows, after a while because they're like, I don't like, Yeah, actually, basically TV. The Critical Role is basically a TV show at this point. People do the same shit with shows. If they're not liking something, you're gonna lose some audience members.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think for like all of the RPGs that I've watched that I really liked, except for Undeadwood, that one had like that in Dread I liked because they weren't like TV show. They were very stage play like, which I liked a lot, despite somebody who doesn't really like theater or musicals. Although there's no music in either of them, so I don't know why I brought that up. But I liked that because it had a different vibe that I could key in on. I didn't like the sort of reality TV show vibe. That's not really what it is, but that's what I'm calling it.
Right.
Either understand that that's not exactly what I mean, or take it at face value. I don't fuck. Not you, Matt. I'm just talking about anybody who's gonna throw a tizzy about it. That level of production, that like TV level stuff, I don't like, but I do like the either friends are on the table or the we're just gonna ham it up to the nth degree and get in costume. Like that's good.
I know my buddies because my buddy Joe really loves Dimension 20 now, and I watched like a few episodes of it because they're also doing like one of their campaigns was a magic school campaign, and it's kind of like that. It's still like the production value. Like I'm not one to complain about the production value. But they only do 2 hours, so that's not too bad. And it is like 6 friends sitting around a table, and they have someone make really nice like table minis in a setup with the high school or whatever campaign they're doing. But it is them hamming it up, and because they're all improv comics. It's mostly about cracking jokes and being fucking goofy and shit. So it does kind of feel like they're more like poking the bear, or not poking the bear, but like they're making fun. They're cracking a lot more jokes. It's not exactly like friends sitting around the table and playing a game. It's more an improv group of friends sitting around and playing improv with dice.
So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried watching a little Dimension 20.
Yeah.
I don't actually like it that much.
Oh, really? I mean, that's fine. For like, any particular reason,
genuinely,
I guess.
Yeah. Oh God, what's his name?
The DM?
Oh, yeah. Oh God.
Brendan Lee Mulligan?
Yeah. He's just a lot. Like, he's so high. This is crazy to say.
Yeah.
He's fantastic consistently, but he's so high energy that I'm just like exhausted at the end of one episode. I'm like, I can't. It's
entertaining watching him. I feel like as a player, because I watched, I watched a little bit of Dimension 20, and then I watched the one mini campaign he did for CR where they're like, oh, again, there's, oh, guys, it's high fantasy. It's what you've been asking for. And then it was like level 16. I'm like, that's not fucking high. And then he's like going nuts and screaming and shit. And fucking, I'm like, Jesus.
Dude, Calamity was great.
It was entertaining, but I'm like, as a player, I think I would be like, yo, man, Bren, chill. Like, I just want to play some clickety clacks.
Yeah, yeah. So I know Red from Overly Sarcastic Productions said it took her like over a week to watch the whole thing because it's just like it's emotionally exhausting to watch all of that going on, which it was for sure.
Of what, but, the CR?
Yeah, because there was like characters are dying. It's really dramatic and like it's like weirdly. It's weird to say that it's draining to watch. That's not why it was draining for me. It was just too high energy for me.
Yeah. I love Travis was like the one normal guy in the group too.
All right, bro.
Huh?
Travis had me fucked up watching that.
It was great. He did such a good job, but I'm sitting there like, how is the bird cop the normalest fucking person in this goddamn group?
Well, you know what the best part of that is? The bird cop is just my dad. That's just actually my dad. Like, you don't like, my dad was teaching me like breach and clear drills when I was like 10 years old. So him like having code names and like, it's like, you know, like my dad literally has call signs for all of us. And if he ever texts me for whatever reason, he's using my calls. I'm not going to say it. It's hilariously military edge. Yeah. But like, if I know if he gives me a call sign, typically that means, hey, like something like it's not always bad, but it's like, you know, if he's picking me up at the airport, he will be like, you know, en route to Rally Point, ETA 300 seconds or something like that. And I'll respond in kind. But if he's got two call signs, if there's like your normal one and then the shit has hit the fan, and he hasn't never used that one, but I know because I have that call sign, if I ever get it, it's like DEFCON 5, the world is ending. But the fact that he thought that far ahead and made me memorize that.
I feel like that's a big thing with military families or like police families, like, because you're in that line of duty, like God forbid something like, you know, it's the cop movies were like, oh, this guy I put away for 20 years, he has his gang come after me and my kids, and you know, like fucking like, like shit, like it makes sense as realistic, which is cool.
Yeah. So watching him like do his thing, I'm like, he's just my dad. What the fuck? This is so strange.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then watching it all, like him specifically when everything's hitting the fan and his son is freaking out, and like the first time he breaks the act with his own kid and his kid's like, oh shit, things are actually serious. I was like, wow, that is like kind of hitting in a weird way.
Because like also if you think about it, like Travis is now a dad, so like this is like, oh, if this happens in the future, oh no, like what would I do?
Yeah.
And you can understand that because like a lot of the same shit happens with a lot of people, like actually, never mind. I don't want different conversation.
Fair enough. Okay.
sorry. I thought of something to say and then I immediately said in my mind, I was like, nope, actually, you shouldn't say this. But yeah, no, it would make sense. Like again, especially any dad, like fuck, you would react the same.
That's how I was with my younger brothers, like specifically my youngest brother. With him, I'm very like, hey, anything happens, you let me know, and I will fucking bury somebody. You know what I mean? Like, so no, I feel that. It's Travis had me in stitches. I can't remember what his name is. He was the paladin character. I really liked him.
Oh yeah,
Calamity.
I think it was half the cast from, what do you call it, from Dimension 20.
I don't know, and I'm just gonna be
Carrazzo.
Yes, yeah. I'm just gonna be blatantly ignorant here. I'm just gonna admit to that. Oh god, what it hurt. Abria. I don't want to say her name wrong.
Abria Iyengar.
Yeah. Is she Dimension 20?
So I think she's like, I don't want to say she's a freelancer, but she's kind of all over the place. She's been with Dimension 20. She's been with CR. She's been on her own streams. I think she was. Oh, I forgot it's a very famous podcast where it's like the all girls playing D&D. Fuck, I'm blanking on it. It's so big. I'm gonna get a hate mob after me. Fuck. I don't remember the name. Fuck.
Wait, what are they from?
Fuck, I don't remember what the show is called. But she ran a podcast, or I don't know if it's a podcast, but a D&D show where it's like, it's her and it's all women playing at the table. And I think it was a fucking huge cast too. I don't remember. Story Benders, maybe? No.
Who else?
Fuck, I don't know. Whatever. No. But she's DM for a lot. Hell, she apparently, I'm looking at her Twitter. Apparently, she DM for the Adventure Zone at some point. So, or she's on the event. Oh fuck! Adventure Zone is, and that's actually, so it's not a live play, but it's another like podcast I used to listen to. I listened to like the first season, and it's the McElroy brothers, who are a group of like comedian brothers. They have another podcast called My Brother and Me. And it's just, a bunch of brothers doing stupid, like improv comedy nonsense live on a podcast, cracking jokes at each other. And then one of the brothers was like, hey, let's play D&D. And they start off with Lost Mines of Fendelver. And then after the first chapter, it just developed into its own fucking campaign world where they're like dimension cops and they're going around trying to stop like the universe from ending. It was kind of crazy shit. And it was like, I think it was like a elf wizard, a dwarf cleric, and a human rogue fighter.
Did you watch the Critical Role Ember Heart Monster Hearts playthrough that they did?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so I would 100% recommend that because that was so I'd heard about Monster Hearts, and Monster Hearts appeals to me for a number of reasons.
Yeah, I don't even what's Monster Hearts? I don't remember.
I can't remember who designed it, but it's a game where you play like monster kids, or not even kids, but like monster young adults in high school or college.
Oh, you've talked about this before, right? And the whole thing is supposed to be like in, huh? You've talked about this before, right?
Yeah. Because I was gonna be in a game and it never really ended up. Nothing came of it. But yeah, you play as these monster people, and the whole point is to like not be exposed as monsters, but go out your life. And depending like if you're a ghost, your whole thing is to figure out who killed you. If you're like a werewolf, it's to not kill anybody. Yeah. Vampire is to feed but not get caught. If you're a ghoul, you have to eat people, but you can't get caught. It's and the whole thing was made. The creator of the game is trans. And it was it's supposed to be an allegory that loosely reflects that, and like the handling of sexuality and being like LGBT is really interesting. It again appealed to me for a number of reasons. It's really good. Erika Ishii is in it, and you know what? I realized I'm mixing it. So Abria wasn't the show I'm talking about. It wasn't her. I'm mixing. Satine Phoenix had a show. I think it was Sirens by Sundown. Oh, so I do know about that one.
Two completely different shows. But for some reason, I think Abria might have guested on an episode or something. I don't remember. I think I mixed those fucking two up completely. So
okay, perfect.
Yeah, my bad. That was
Erika uses all pronouns. Good. So yeah. Erika Ishii was on it, and she's amazing in Monster Hearts. The amount of because one of the things that I just turned completely away, throwing something across the room. So Monster Hearts is purposely like it is very horny coded. You kind of have to be horny on main playing this game. you don't have to be, but it's like so you roll. Let me before I start. Your rolls are not like attack or persuade. It's like you roll hot, you roll cold, and they're supposed to be basically catch-all terms that describe a certain kind of action, right? So to roll hot, you either express attraction towards someone, or you get angry and smash something, or you like it's any sort of passion emotion. Rolling cold is to like disagree or shut down a conversation, or I think to roll cold, you have to like shoot somebody in like cold blood or do stuff like that. And the amount of times Erika Ishii did something and someone in the party was like, "Oh my god!" Like, like there's a part where she's just blatantly trying to like distract the cop that's trying to arrest them by being like, "You finna smash," and the dungeon master, who I think was Matt, was just like, "Ooh."
Oh my god.
Yeah, when someone says like characters landed on thick, yeah, thick like pine tar. It was hilarious.
I don't remember where this was. I think this was one of those like tabletop horror stories video where like they got it from like Reddit or 4chan or some shit where it's like, you know, be me DM players trying to sneak into the dungeon. One player playing big boobed fucking elf lady goes up to first guard. "Hey, I'll suck your dick if you let me into the party." And it's like, I fucking guess. Second character playing a female rogue walks up to second guard. "I'll also suck your dick if you let me into the party." It's like what do we do? Are we just fucking our way into the castle? Like, the fuck are we doing here, guys?
I mean, look, it seemed like both characters were, you know, they were doing it for a reason. There was a utility.
So funny. I just, it was like the first one did it, and then the second one's like, "Oh, this is a thing you can do in D&D? Neat. No, I guess I'll try it." And it's like,
okay.
Sure.
So fun little story time. I was playing a game, and my character, I was playing this like equivalent of Middle Eastern like gambler prince character with like a blade whip, a la Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
And this character, we were in this town, and this character was like blatantly trying to like flirt with my character to get information out of him. It was pretty clear. And this young guy, it like comes up to my character and it like immediately starts putting the moves on. And I was like, okay, I have two options here, right? I have two options. I can either, I have three, sorry. I can reject this outright and be like, no. I can play into it coyly, or I can just 110 full send it. Yeah. And I did that. Nice. And I could tell the DM, who was clearly trying to like playfully kind of catch me off guard, instant reversal.
Reverse, yeah.
And all of our, this is so weird to say, but every character had a partner for the night in that session, and it was so funny. Because the DM was like, I didn't expect this to turn into Fucktown, but apparently it did. And I just sat there being like, in my defense, you initiated, I just brought it to its logical conclusion. He was like, you know what? You did. And God, I wish you hadn't. And I was like, I have nothing to say here. I can't apologize because I'd be lying to you. It was great.
Yeah.
I remember one of the players, she was playing this like tiny warlock, like just this like tiny like short tsundere warlock, and Brett was playing a like this massive barbarian tiefling.
Oh no!
And they had been beefing the whole campaign. Like Brett's character does anything, and she's like, loser. Like,
stupid baka. And you're like,
yeah. And then she was like, you know what? My character goes up to Tobias's room, Brett's character, and Brett's not even here. Brett's not here for the session. So we had to stop the game and be like, okay, wait. Let's call Brett, because this can be really problematic if we just act stupid. So we called Brett. I called him on the phone. It was like, hey, bud, I know you're not here, and I know that you don't swing anyway particularly, so we want to check. Mugi wants to smash your character. Do you consent? He was like, bro, fuck it, I don't care. Go for it, man. And we were like, we have consent, ladies and gentlemen. Consent is the most important thing. Let's go.
That's good. Oh my God.
Dude, we were instant, because I was like, hold on, let me call him. And everyone was like, ha ha ha. And then I put the phone up to the mic, and the ringing was going off, and it just exploded into humor. All right. Story time's over. Oh, I will say real quick.
Yeah.
I didn't say my favorite TTRPG.
Yeah.
My favorite actual play that I have seen is, they're called Narrative Declaration now, but they were called Warhams when they first started because they were doing Wrath and Glory. And it's the If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device crew. So it's like Speaker D, Zoran the Bear, Arendelle, and I'm missing somebody. Hulky Crow. And they were doing, oh god, what Thurston Hillman is the DM's name. He works on Pathfinder. And it was just them in the Warhammer universe. And that game, that actual play, by far had me laugh the most out of every single one I've ever seen. And granted, I haven't seen that many. But out of the like 12 or so actual plays I've tried, in stitches the whole time.
Yeah.
My favorite character was Speaker D's character, Pie Brain. He's I know you don't know a whole lot about 40K, Matt, but he was the tech priest.
Yeah.
He was a tech priest, Skitari, so he's like their grunt soldiers. And he would speak like this and do crazy things, and just anytime he did anything, I would I can't even think about the dumb things he's done. I remember he shot Erendel's character point blank with a plasma gun, which, if you don't know, plasma guns are meant to kill 40k tanks, not normal tanks, the bigger ones. Point blank, and everyone's like, hi, you almost killed Reeb. And he's like, but I killed the bad guys. They're like, wrong message, bud. You picked up the wrong part of that. Yeah, I'd recommend, if you know nothing about 40k, and you were even slightly curious, I would recommend Warhams. It's not going to teach you about 40k, but they present things in neutral enough terms for you to understand what they're talking about. Like when a character for example, when they're talking about like an Arvis lighter, it's like a tiny space shuttle that they get into. It's how they get in and off planets, and they have like a lot of art that you can look at and shit. It's very funny. Hulky Crow's character is a rogue trader, like the game that I've been playing recently. And he gets these, I can't remember what they're called. They're like hirelings. Like he gets his own set of minions. The devotees is what they're called. Okay. And there's a character you can play in the tabletop called a commissar, and one of their abilities is called Look Out, Sir. And basically, if the commissar gets attacked with a lethal hit, one of your soldiers will jump in front of the bullet and die for you. So he had these ratlings, which are the 40k equivalent of like halflings or gnomes, and he called them the Potato Squadron. And they would just die in droves to keep him alive.
Oh shit.
It was like one of them like jumped on a grenade and got misted, and they were like, good soldier, and just ran away. It's good. It's very good. I'd recommend it.
Nice.
Yeah. God, I've been rambling a lot. My bad.
Huh? No, it's all good. I was gonna say that kind of leads me into one of the things. Like, have you watched a live play, like actual play that wasn't D&D 5e? But hey, gotta answer that already.
I did, yeah. So I watched them. They did Wrath and Glory. Then they did the Warhammer RPG. I watched Outside Xbox and Outside Extra. They do like top 10 stuff for video games. They had a Blades in the Dark campaign I watched a little bit of. Like the very beginning of it. They're way past, like, watched like the first 2 episodes and I just fell off. It was good. I was like consistently laughing and having a good time, but I just was like, ooh, this other thing. I could recommend them. They're pretty funny. What else? I've watched a few Blades in the Dark campaigns. Undeadwood in World Live Frontier, both amazing. Dread, obviously. Yes, I watched a few. Actually, I think I've watched more of them that aren't D&D than I have that watched ones. Because if we're counting Critical Role as 3 separate things for campaign 1, 2, and 3, respectively.
Sure.
Yeah, so campaign 1, 2, 3, Project Mouthwash. Way back when Rooster Teeth had their first 5e campaign, I went back and watched it. I didn't watch it while it was coming out, but I retroactively watched a few episodes. And that one I fell off pretty quick. I don't think I actually made it past the first episode.
God, my mind, I just had a, this is my idea, internet. Have they made a Halo tabletop game at all? Like someone has to have by now. If they haven't,
TTRP.
I need to talk to Chris and fucking I'm gonna need him and I to spitball some ideas.
All right, so apparently there's Halo Mythic, which is a fan-made RPG. And then there's a game called Traveler, which people say is a pretty good approximation of Halo.
Okay.
People are recommending Lancer, which is a mech game, but someone said that the rules are similar to 5e, or not 5e, to Halo.
Okay.
So yeah, it looks like there's not specifically a Halo one that's official, but there are a few adjacent.
See that I'm surprised with all the fucking, or at least a 5e version. I know Josh hates that, but something.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they don't have. I think the only ones I've watched was a couple of because on and off I'll have these I'll watch a couple Cyberpunk because I'm trying to learn I want to learn Cyberpunk Red so at least I can run it at some point. But I'm a fucking visual learner, so I can read the book. And then I do the thing where, you look at your phone, you look at the time, you put your phone back in your wallet, your pocket, your brain. Hey, what time is it? Good question. Fucking constantly. So I can look and read a PDF, but it won't stick unless I see it in play, which is annoying as fuck for me. Unless I really, really sit down and focus on studying the PDFs, but I don't have time for that. I watched a couple of them. One specifically with the creator of Cyberpunk, running a game with a bunch of well-known live players as well.
I think.
I don't think of anything else. There's a YouTuber I used to watch, Draw with Jazza. He's an art guy, Australian art guy. He made his own tabletop YouTube channel, and they use his own system. It's the one that Josh makes fun of, him and because
Cogent Roleplay.
Cogent, because his brother is Shad.
Shad, yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Which I think they still do live plays and everything. And I guess one of the good things of Cogent is you can slap any kind of paint on it. Apparently, fantasy, cyberpunk, steampunk, fucking space, whatever the theme of your fucking game is, apparently Cogent can just do it, pirate, so they have endless content, and they do I think usually their campaigns are only a few 3 or 4 episodes. So it's not too bad, but I watched a little bit of that just because I was oh, Cogent seems like a cool game, and then I was I'm gonna stick with 5e.
Yeah, I haven't read Cogent at all. So, take everything I'm saying with a massive grain of salt.
Yeah.
But I do have to agree with Josh where it seems like a lot of the stuff that both Jazza and Shadow said about Cogent is oh, we've have this thing that 5e doesn't do. And then you're this campaign does that. This game does that. This game does that. It seemed and again, could be completely wrong. It's freely admitting this.
Yeah.
But it just does not.
It's been a while since I've read it too, so I don't.
Yeah.
know.
It does not seem like the most. They did not have the biggest catalog of games to look through when they made it.
Okay. Actually, this has nothing to do with anything, but with the new trend of all these new tabletop games to try and knock over 5e coming out, a lot of them are switching to not rolling to hit. they're just like, okay, on your turn, you do damage. Do you like that? Or are you against it?
No, I know I've never heard of a single game trying to do this, but absolutely not. No, fuck that.
Like, it seems like all of them now are switching over to not rolling to hit, and the reasoning behind it is they don't want people to feel like they missed out on their turn. So instead of just like I roll the hit, I miss, and my turn's over, it's I roll damage because I'm hitting the monster with my attack or whatever. And so at least, like, even if I don't deal a lot of damage, I'm doing something. I'm chipping away at the monster or whatever.
This is just me, right?
Yeah.
That would make me so mad. Because I feel genuinely, and again, I'm not expecting anyone to share my opinion, I feel like the game is talking down to me. You know?
How so?
Because it's like, oh, well, you missed your turn. Don't worry. You could just do damage. It's fine. You don't have to. It's like,
oh, okay.
It's like, or I just missed. And like, it is like, I think most people's issue is not that they missed an attack. It's that they feel like the best option is to attack. And if they can't do that, then what else are they supposed to do? You know?
Right.
I would prefer a game give me options that I can do during combat to make me feel like I've done something. So
like the new MCDM game is doing that, where you just roll damage.
Yeah. So I'm playing Rogue Trader right now, right? Like I said, and yes, I know this isn't like a tabletop game, but it's based on a tabletop game. When you're in combat, I go full turns sometimes without my characters doing any attacks because they have a bunch of abilities that bolster combat around them, right? If I have one character who's like, oh, you know, he's like the heavy front fighter, the one I keep joking about to like Abelard cut-offs balls.
Yeah.
He has a bunch of like buff and control abilities.
So he's like what the 4th edition Warlord used to be, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so if I'm in combat, I'm like, oh, because Abelard's a melee fighter. If he's not in melee range, I'm like, okay, well, this person's not in an optimal position. I'll buff their defense. I'll have someone else buff their ability to dodge. I'll have someone else buff their movement so they can get out of the way and they can attack. None of those characters attacked. They used all of their abilities, their whole turn, to make sure one character stayed alive. And at no point did I feel like, well, I missed out on damage numbers. I'm just not doing as good as I could be. It's like, no, it's there's a point to this.
Still doing something, like, even if it's not damage.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about Battlemaster is even if your attacks don't hit, they all still have like a secondary ability, right? Like the bait and switch where you just swap places with an ally. You're like, all right, bet. Like, I can't attack? Cool, but I'll make sure that you're alive. Artificers have 1.5 million things to make sure that even if you're not attacking in a round, you're still doing something, you know?
Yeah.
Be it your homunculus, any of your infusions, like, I know, yeah, I don't want a game to take the easy way out and give me pity pats because I couldn't hit. I want a game to go, okay, maybe attacking every turn isn't your best option, and if you chose to attack, even if it wasn't your, like, it doesn't matter if you think, right, if you personally think that attacking is your best option. Regardless of that, if you chose to attack rather than, for example, buffing an ally, using the help action, doing this, doing that, and you fucked up and missed, but that's kind of on you, right? I genuinely, and I'm guilty of this, and I don't do this enough, and I should, use the help action more. Especially in games where flanking doesn't give you advantage, help action.
That's what my players currently are doing in my game with all their familiars.
Oh, God.
They're like, all right, Matt, we're not getting the fucking flanking rules. Fuck you, we're using familiars. Then I'm like, oh no, a grenade drops. Ooh, oh, looks like all the familiars. Which I thankfully I've been doing less AoE things with monsters after the one player complained about that, because I did feel bad. I did generally feel bad. I was killing their pets way too often.
I mean, this is that thing, right, where they're like, yes, I understand where they're coming from, but it feels a little disingenuous for the player to go, for the DM to go, hey guys, be right or wrong, right? I don't particularly care if people think that flanking is too powerful or not. I just don't give enough fuck to have the conversation at the moment. But if you think that, and the GM is like, hey guys, I'm going to take away flanking. I, in that instance, would presumably assume, right, that the DM has done work to make sure that flanking is not, like, the loss of flanking does not make you combat ineffective,
Well, I mean, to be honest, like, for my, like, even in general, like, because flanking is an optional rule. It's not the standard. A lot of people like fucking multi-classing and like feats. It's an optional rule that everyone now uses. And for me, as a DM, the reason I got rid of it is because it's too easy. It's way too fucking easy. And I'm like, there are a million other things in the game that can give you advantage. This is taking the fucking training wheels, the booster seat off. Now it's like, okay, guys, think of other ways to do it. Now my players are doing the thing of the pigeonholing is like, oh, just only familiars. And it's like, okay, that it's one of those, like, I'm not mad about it because it's like, okay, that's the option they chose. Like, they're good. They're at magic school. Why wouldn't they get pets? Fucking Harry Potter had an owl. Like, fucking, but like, there are spells, there are weapons, like, there are so many other options that players can use to get, the help action, give someone else advantage, that I'm like, flanking, it's so easy. So that's why I took it out of the game.
So I get what you're saying. It is easy, right?
Yeah.
But it is I know people, this eternal argument of like, what is realistic in combat? Yeah. There's no winning. However, if doesn't matter what you are, right? You can be a dragon, you can be a titan. If there's two people stabbing you on two sides of your body, it is damn near impossible to pay attention to both of them at the same time. One of them is going to hurt you. So I don't get rid of flanking, despite how powerful it is, because it makes sense to me. And for me personally, I don't personally think there is enough rules as written, that give you advantage. You have the help action, you have worthless cantrips, right? And let's be real, fuck Blade War or not, what's True Strike is worthless, right? Yeah. Unless it's a bonus action, in which case it's overpowered as fuck. And to me, that's acceptable.
Well, I think they're turning it into in the 1D&D's nuts.
Nice.
And I think now they made, I don't remember which Genasi, but one of the new Genasi races now get that as a bonus action.
See, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. I forgot. There's also a spell that gives advantage on it. There's a bunch of spells that Fairy Fire, fucking. I
don't know what a bunch.
Fuck.
So
there's a handful. There's like a handful. I'm trying to remember because I ended up looking up all the spells and like reading them a while ago, and now because it's been almost like a year and a half since I started Strixhaven, now I forgot them all.
Hold on, let's 5e tools real quick. Yeah. So there is, that's not all of them. Okay, so there is Zephyr Strike. Let's do it in terms of.
Oh yeah, Zephyr Strike.
You have True Strike, Fairy Fire, Guiding Bolt. I know Hold Person does, but it's not on here for some reason.
Yeah, Hold Person, because it gives them the paralyzed condition.
Yeah. There's
also, I think, Charm. Like, if you charm someone, then the person has advantage on. I think it's attacks on that. I could be wrong.
Charm, no, it's just charisma. It's not attacks.
Oh, it's just charisma.
So there are ways to grant advantage.
I think vampires have advantage on people they charm. I don't remember. There was like one particular monster that like gave advantage when it charmed shit.
Yeah, it's most likely a vampire.
So I'm probably mixing it up. Yeah.
So here's the thing that I'm thinking about, right?
Yeah.
If you have a lot of casters, to me it makes more sense to remove haste, because you're right. There are quite a few spells that give it to you, and they're low level.
Remove haste?
No, not haste.
Flanking.
Flanking. Yeah, my bad.
Oh, okay. I got confused.
But if your party is mostly like marshals, I think you kind of need it. Because well, think about it. The only way that a marshal is getting advantage is with the help action. It's the only way, really. unless you like, I'm saying in particular, I'm talking rules as written. I'm not talking like,
you're not talking Tasha's or Xanathar's rules or.
No. I'm just, I'm not talking, oh, well, if you talk with the DM, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I'm about hard-coded rules. I want hard-coded rules. If there was reasonably efficient ways to get advantage as a martial fighter, I would say, yeah, fuck it. Go for it. Take out. Can you name one?
Like my buddy is a battle master in our game right now. He has the trip attack. If he really wanted to, he can get the feat that, I don't remember if it's Crusher, but it's one of the feats where if you hit somebody with this weapon, you can choose to trip them or they have to make a strength save. Granted, you have to hit with the attack and then the person makes a save, but that's on top of like damage. And so basically, like last fight, actually, I told you guys last week about the devil fight, or I told you last week about the devil fight. He went super fucking Nova and did like 75% of this one guy's health because he managed to trip attack the monster and then just kept hitting crit fucking with the advantage and like almost like pasted the bad guy. And I was like, holy fucking shit. I was like, level 7 fighters are scary.
So you got one. So other than help action for marshals, you've given me one. But that's only with a certain fighter subclass. You give me any other ones.
They have also the feat. That's what I'm saying. There's also the feat. If you're an Eldritch Knight, you can cake spell like hold person. I remember there's a psychic fighter has something.
I'm gonna say can't be a spell. Because that's why I was like specifically martial fighters.
Well, if a martial fighter gets a spell, then like an Eldritch Knight, then I'm counting that. Like,
sure, okay, I should have specified. I'm not counting that because like, again, we already said.
But then you're not looking at the whole rules. Like that's why I'm saying like there are a multitude of things like the players can look at, and there are options they can choose to like give advantage, like and use all of them, all the tools at the same time if you want, but use them all. Don't just like I feel like flanking it's too easy. It's lazy design, and you're kind of sitting here and I love you, Isaiah, but you do tend to do this thing where like if one of your toys are taken away, you kind of get super defensive. You're like no, but like and me and Josh have agreed. This is one of those things where it's like no, from a player's perspective, I get it, but from a DM's perspective, it's too easy. It's way too easy of an option. And also, it's an optional option. It's not even it's not supposed to be technically a part of the main normal game. But because it's in the book, and everyone just assumes because they watch all these live plays that use it, you know, they just assume it's part of the rules now. And so like from a DM side, it's annoying.
Well, so I will freely admit, I do get annoyed, and it's not because my toys are taken away. I get annoyed when I just have less options. Flat out.
You don't. You have it's one less option.
It's still less options.
I don't know. I don't think one less option is gonna make or break an entire like system.
No, but on principle, I am someone who is like, if an option doesn't work, fix it. Don't remove it. Just flat out, you know. And again, so I disagree.
Yeah.
Flat out that it's lazy. It's not lazy. It is easy, but it's not lazy. I get it really annoying people like it's lazy writing. Like it's really not though. The game was built with advantage in mind. Flanking was built with marshals in mind because they don't have access to spells, at least not from the start, and they can get access to those spells, but that should not be a means by which they can get advantage, which is a core game system. Now, it is a bit easier because they have feats. I'll give you that. Yeah. But in a game where someone, for example, you're not allowed to have feats and you can't multi-class, well, marshals are kind of just shit out of luck because you either play a barbarian and you reckless attack, which fair enough, you get free advantage every round. That's fantastic. But that's a bit of an issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that I'll agree with. But like again, if you're playing in a game where you're not using any of the optional rules, you're just not even using flanking at that point. And so that's going to be that one of those issues where you're talking to your DM, where it's like, hey man, like I get you don't want to multi-class, I get you don't want to fucking, you don't want to use feats, but like, you know, also flanking on top of that, then that's going to be, that's kind of like, that's too much. And again, most people who play general 5e, like, those aren't optional rules to them. Most people generally think feats, flanking, multi-classing, I don't know, guns, I guess, from the DMG.
I'm real. Guns should never be an optional rule.
Yeah, guns should be like,
there should just be revolvers in the game. They've had like, I get so mad. The guns thing kills me, right? It fucking grinds my gears. If you're like, there weren't guns in the medieval period. Listen up, you fucking homunculus. Yes, there were. Yes, you're dumb. And yes, you should stop being annoying about it and let your player have a fucking revolver. As long as they don't want a Glock or an AR-15, shouldn't really be an issue. Get off your high horse. And I got nothing else.
Did you see, I don't know if you've seen like any of the Skyrim mods and stuff, but they've made, on top of pissing everybody off and fucking with the Creation Club, someone made a paid mod where it's lore accurate guns. And it's the funniest fucking thing seeing the like, because they're really cool design, but it's also funny that they have to go like out of their way to put a gun in their fantasy game.
Yeah, like guns should just be a part of most high fantasy shit. They should be a part of most low fantasy. There really is no demonstrable reason why there weren't guns in Lord of the Rings other than he just didn't want them there. But like, sure, that's fine if you're writing a book, right?
I was gonna say, I don't know. I think low fantasy, you don't need guns. Like,
guns are not weird. High fantasy.
No, but like above that, like Lord of the Rings, like, watching, I don't know what Lord of the Rings is like low fantasy, but it's not like super low. I guess if it was something like Conan, like where it's like there's one dude who knows magic and that's it, then I'd be like, all right, maybe no guns. But like if it's Lord of the Rings, maybe I could see someone.
Let's put it this way:
like one person, like with a crossbow or some shit. I don't know.
Well, so you're talking about different time periods, right?
True.
Conan is pre-Mesopotamia, canonically. Makes an absolute 100% sense that there are no guns there. I agree. Yeah. There shouldn't be guns there. But if you're in Lord of the Rings, is characters are using like 14th century stuff, and there were guns then. They weren't particularly sophisticated, and they didn't really look like guns. They looked like tiny cannons at the end of a stick. But those things where you go, well, you know.
I think were some of the orcs using cannons? I don't remember. I don't think
they were using black powder cannons. Yeah, like they were using cannons though. Which, I mean, let's be real. Though, it's not too much of a presumption to be like, well, they just took this thing and made it smaller. So with that in mind, there's no reason why there shouldn't be guns in Lord of the Rings.
Right,
and I'm not talking revolver, like I said revolver before, but like a flintlock, a matchlock gun.
Flintlock or a musket.
Not even flintlock, a matchlock gun, like which is pre-musket. Where you were using a literal long-ass rope wick to light your gun.
Yeah, like not World War, oh god. Like basically American Revolution style, right?
Earlier than that.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah. I would post pictures, but there's no point. We don't have a visual medium.
We can put it on the thumbnail.
Yeah. But yeah.
Josh is gonna hate this episode.
I know, right? So yeah. I don't like my options being taken away. I think you should fix the option, not remove the option. I think lazy writing is to just remove things, personally. This is not a call out to you or anybody. I think to go, well, I don't want to fix it. I don't have the time to fix it. I'm just going to remove it. To me, that feels lazy. I would prefer, like, let's say if you want to flank, you need 3 people, not 2 people. Or, you know, one person has to use or both players have to agree to use their bonus actions to maintain the flank. Like, flank is like not a positional thing. It's like a battle state. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
It's like ambush in other RPGs where like if you're ambushed, you have less mobility, you have less AC, stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
If flank was different, like let's say flank didn't give you advantage. it just dropped the enemy's AC by like some sort of static modifier or some modifier that's based on your character's traits, right?
Sure. So if you're fighting bonus, if we want to do 5e or
something like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like both players' proficiency rounded down or whatever.
Right.
I'd be like, sure. I mean, it's not advantage, but you are getting more, like, you're getting more out of it, and it scales with you. Like, I know Josh is doing the, like, you get +2 to attacks when you're flanking.
That's a lot of people go to that. I'm trying to remember.
Hate it, personally.
Yeah,
I can't stand it because it doesn't scale. It becomes to the point where if you're fighting a dragon, it's worthless. The +2 is basically worthless. Your abilities will get higher, but a lot of the time, the to hit is not within. You know, when you get to numbers like that, you're either missing by a bunch or you're hitting by a bunch. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think +2 is enough.
No, because I think the +2 thing is from. I don't remember if this was from 3rd edition or Pathfinder or 4th edition, but it's been a staple alternative to flanking. And I've seen a couple other campaigns where the DM does that, and yeah, the +2 thing. Yeah, it doesn't feel good from like a lot of players. Also, they're like, yeah, this doesn't feel good.
It doesn't. It just kind of makes you be like, damn. Like if you miss when you're flanking, you're like, what the fuck is the point? You know?
Yeah.
Again, I'm gonna say it for the nth time. This is not a call out to anybody.
Yeah, no.
I'm not saying that you're a bad DM.
I'm not Josh. It's okay. I know, like
Bro, you gotta stop. He's gonna get so genuinely mad at you. Like,
I know.
Genuinely, he's gonna get so pissed off.
We can agree to disagree. It's all good. Like at the end of the day, like, you know, people are gonna take what I say and be like, man, bad take. People are gonna say what you say. You know, like they don't. You know, it's all good. Except for you, out there, that one guy.
So I'm gonna be real. I feel like personally, flanking should be a high, but not like +5. You know,
a +5 if it was gonna be.
Or right, if you do like if you want to do the +2, treat it like cover, right? Where if 2 people flanking is a +2, 3 people flanking is a +5, 4 people flanking is just advantage. Because I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I think with advantage it basically equals out to +5, doesn't it? Like the math.
Something like that. So maybe not exactly +5.
Someone smarter than me has figured it out, but I remember reading somewhere it's like it's basically just +5.
Basically, yeah. Fair enough. But like, I don't know. I'm just sort of the opinion of like, if you're you know, Orgalorg the Black Knight, if 4 level 15 adventurers are surrounding you, you're gonna get ganked. Take just get ganked. It's gonna happen. Like either give Orgalorg the Death Knight like Misty Step or help him get out of that situation. Shit, give him an ability that just says he can't be flanked by more than 2 people. You can never get more than the +2 on him. He's just that cool.
So it's funny in the MCDM, both in their monster books 4, 5e and in their new coming game, they made flanking a condition, kind of like, you know, paralyzed, stunned, all that.
Like what I was
basically, yeah. So it's its own condition now, and it basically does the same thing where it's like, oh, you know, if a creature is flanked, you have advantage on attacking it, blah blah blah. And then they have certain monsters that are immune to flank, like I don't know, they're dragons or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about them being like. If 1 or 2 monsters
it's basically just now a condition,
flank,
so
no, I get it. For me, it's like if 1 or 2 monsters are immune to flank, that's fine. But like if an ancient dragon is immune to flank, that's fine. It's annoying, but I get it, right?
Yeah.
But you really got to watch out, because if it turns into a poisoned condition where everything in their fucking mother is immune to poison, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. From what I remember, I don't think so. I mean, a lot of the undead obviously are immune to poison, necrotic, you know, from those books.
Hold on, I'm going to check. I'm going to check to see how many things are immune to flanking.
In the MCDM book?
No, just across 5e.
It's not conditioned in 5e.
Poisoned?
Oh, poison. You said flank.
My bad. I meant to say poison.
Oh no, I was so fucking lost.
My bad.
I was like, also the second half of the episode turned completely into a different.
It did. It's fine. All right, we're gonna.
No, it's all good.
You got me fucked up. There's 937 monsters that are immune to poison and flanking. Or sorry, poison and the poisoned condition.
Oh, I was like, Jesus. Yeah.
937.
It's because like if something is poisoned, then you have advantage on attacking it. So ergo, like they're like, oh, we'll just give like a lot of the stronger monsters immunity to poison and the poison condition. And then it's like, oh, well, if we do that, then we also got to give it to these other monsters that deal a lot of poison damage. Okay. And then we also got to give it to undead because they're already dead. Why would they be resistant to necrotic damage in 5e? Let's just give them the poison resistant. And it's like, that's, I get. And also demons and devils. And it's like, hold up. Shouldn't they just be immune to fire? Why are we giving them poison? And it's like, and also mind flayers. And it's like, all right, no. Mind flayers should not be, stop. Mind flayers aren't immune to poison, but it's just like, fucking just like the list goes on and on. It's, all right, it's too much. So
this has got me fucked up. If you're a swarm, I'm sorry. Like I say, swarm of undead, fiends, whatever. Yeah. But like, I don't know. Like, for me, poison is a lot of things. You could make a solid argument that mustard gas is a poison.
Yes.
Mustard gas realistically would probably do acid damage because it's melting your lungs.
Right.
But it's because it's poison. You know, like,
right.
Maybe that's it too, right? If you want to remove flanking for marshals, make poisons more effective.
Oh yeah. Make things less resistant to poison damage. You know, now people can actually take that one poisoner feat that is really cool from Tasha's, but nobody takes because lol poison.
Yeah. Or
because it only gets rid of resistance to poison, not immunity.
Shit. Make like a rapier and dagger a thing, right? If you do if you make this, so like the weapon masteries are a good idea, right? They can push us in this direction where you don't need flanking to have advantage. But it's like a core. I could go on. This could be a whole episode for me. We'll do another episode of flanking after. I know.
The title of this is Critical Role Flanked, and just like question mark, exclamation point.
We're just gonna call the episode Ganked and Flanked and Ganked. Like,
yeah. No, we gotta actually have the flanking episode be that, and then
yeah.
So then we got Josh's thumbnail. It's got to be Matt Mercer's face with the glowing eyes, big Critical Role symbol behind him, and a giant spoiler. And then I don't know what I don't know, and then the Spider-Man meme underneath, because that's like flanking.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, the one where they're all pointing at each other.
Oh,
genius. Hey, Josh.
Yeah, if Josh doesn't kill you first and end the show because one of us died, yeah.
Fuck.
Yo, he's gonna be so mad at you.
He's gonna be so mad. But yeah, I guess.
My man is laughing because he knows he's guilty.
Yeah. I guess. Shit. Did we? I guess before wrapping things up, did you say which out of the 3 seasons or shows of Critical Role you like better?
One?
Yeah. Okay.
One.
Same.
I like Percy too much.
Yeah, I like the cast. I like they're all a bunch of goobers and shit. They got like, the quintessential fantasy, characters. You got the half elves in there. They got the tiny people. There's no dwarves, Sag, but I'll deal with it. A giant. It's like, okay, I like this party.
The only thing the 2 things I was not a huge fan of in campaign 1 was the characters being like, we're Vox Machina. Don't you know who we are? That got a little grating but they stopped that once the Chroma Conclave hit because they were like, oh, well.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they had to be heroes and not being a bunch of adventuring goobers being like, instead of cleaning out the goblin cave, now it's like, oh shit, we gotta fight the dragon on top of the mountain.
That and I believe that Mr. O'Brien has spoken about why he did this, but Vax being really depressing for about a third of the show,
Yeah,
I don't want to talk to my man. I believe
they took those. Yeah, sorry. No, I was gonna say they took those episodes off, or they took that interview off because of a certain somebody.
Yeah, but yeah, so he did talk about it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna tell another man's story, but he explained it. It makes a lot of sense, but is also within my right to not particularly enjoy it. So, yeah. All's fair.
No, I was like that too for a while, but I was like, man, this guy's really edgy. It's kind of annoying. But
it felt like a shift, because he went from like shaving Grog's beard and fucking around with Whisper to being like really somber. And you're like,
yeah, I agree. I think that's why, because I know you mentioned the Keyleth hate. I remember Vax got a ton of fucking hate too. And then
they pretty much all did at certain points in time. No one got it nearly as bad as Keyleth, but
no, Keyleth and Vax I feel like got the worst of it. Yeah, I don't even know what the rest of them like. Because I've never really heard much of people complaining about like, Grog's too stupid, or I don't know.
Well, it's mainly just from what I have seen in my little corner of the internet, so this is not indicative of the entire fan base, but like a lot of people complained, like, Percy got it pretty bad at the beginning, so like, literally who is this character, didn't even know he was there. Keyleth started pretty early when she was sort of grandstanding after they right at the end of the Craghammer arc, I believe she kind of did some soapboxing, and then that didn't go too particularly well.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember.
Scanlan got a lot of beef because he was kind of like, the crass humor came off to some people, I suppose, as creepy, which, like, I mean, Scanlan Shorthalt is not supposed to be a character you're supposed to look up to. He's kind of a piece of shit. That's the point. Yeah. So getting mad at him for being a piece of shit, and that's specifically the point, is that it's that. Yeah. I don't think Grog ever had any problems.
See, that's what I'm trying to think. Like, I can't think of anything, but like, really, there was really no drama with fucking Travis.
Obviously, Tiberius had beef.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, Vex never got any beef, but yeah, so
not that I even know of.
Pike, yeah. I mean, Ashley just wasn't there enough to really have anything to be controversial about Pike, other than being kind of the moral center of the group.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not an issue. That's, I think, every time Pike showed up, everybody kind of got their act together, which I think a lot of people really liked.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
All of that to say, everyone sort of had beef with at least 3/4 of the cast. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
All of that to say, ED what ED,
True. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, no, same. Campaign 1. I'm glad it's getting animated. Oh shit, I didn't tell you this too, because so like the whole like deck of many things shit that Grog did throughout the entire campaign, I'm getting that and more in my game, and I'm so fucking happy. Because now my players are all like, no, I'm super happy. I'm super happy. I'm getting like everything, because like my players now, like I think they've drawn 9 cards from the deck.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's a 20 card deck. So they're literally halfway done. And like the last time they pulled what is it? They pulled 3, because they pulled 3 cards. One of them they gave to an NPC because they're like, please, Void, see what happens. Oh, it's gotta be the Void. And the NPC drew I forgot what it's called, but it's the one that basically gives you a level up.
Oh yeah.
And a magic item. So I'm like, cool. This NPC now is, I don't know, whatever CR level higher than it normally is, and fucking it gets a magic staff or something. The player who owns the deck is like, this is bullshit. Hands it to another player. He's like, fine, you draw a card. The other player draws a card. He gets the one where like, I think it was like 500,000 gold worth of gems just spill on the ground. Yeah. And so the player owns his deck. He's like, oh shit, it's all good shit. Surely, like, I'll get a good card. Pulls, got the one where it's like a devil or in some infernal monstrosity is now haunting you. And he's just like, ah! Right?
So that's always how it is. Don't lament your lot in life because it can always get worse.
To be fair, this is the player who his first draw was the wish card.
Oh.
So he has one wish in his back pocket that he's saving. And so he's like, I could wish that I didn't draw this fucking card. And I'm like, you could. But yeah, now he's got a big fireworm demon devil guy after him. That'll be fun.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, Book of Many Things. One of the few good 5 Wizards of the Coast products this year. Yeah, that's it. Shit. Now I'm mostly stalling because I'm trying to remember what we're supposed to say at the end of the podcast. God,
you're hosting, bud. You got this. I believe in you.
He's gonna be so mad at us.
Us? I don't know about us. I think he's gonna be mad at you.
Me. True. I don't know. He probably is gonna be mad at you for not helping me or not remembering along with me.
Hashtag gold member. Then there is no pleasing.
Oh, so. That's it. Don't forget to follow us on X Twitter. Thanks. That was it.
That's right. Well, you've already said it. I can't say if you want to find us because then now they already know where to find us.
Yeah, find us on Twitter. Yeah. But yeah, this podcast is coming out in the new year. We're speaking to you from the future. Ants are taking over. Skynet's real. AI took over McDonald's, weirdly enough, so that's a good thing. But yeah, have a nice 2024, guys. Enjoy all the live play, actual play, whatever the fuck you want to call it, plays you do. Yeah, bye-bye.
You have a narrative declaration of you, because I love those guys, and I want them to get more stuff.
Yeah. Watch them. Peace. Okay, now.